Namaste. Welcome to this 11:11 manifesting yoga practice. I have a couple of mints in my mouth. I apologize. This practice is Spider Woman's co-creator. I love her. Co-creation. She's a Navajo goddess. And usually she comes through when you're not quite sure maybe what thread to pull on next when you're dream weaving. She helps to remind you that what you want, the form isn't always so much, it's not so important. It's really the essence of what you want. So if we're taking this a little bit, taking it like one step further, right? A lot of manifestation comes down to a feeling. More often than not, it's not the thing you want, it's the feeling you think you're going to have from that thing. So people, money, that's a big one. Or a relationship, love, love, being in love. Money, it's usually a feeling of freedom. It's usually a feeling of, freedom, that's a big one. Not feeling like stressed, right? Of debt, stress-free, relaxed. Like that's a good feeling, of course. Love, being in love, a partner, right? Somebody to rely on, all of those things. It's the feeling that you're thinking that this thing or this person or whatever the case may be is going to bring you, and that's why you want it. That's why you want to manifest it, and rightly so, okay? Now, one of the tricks is to get into the state of already having said thing. So this is where we get into a little bit of Neville Goddard, right? You get into the state of having it, and then it shows up. That's how manifestation works. You're delulu for a little bit. Of course, you tend to your environment. You don't ignore what you've already created, okay? But you make adjustments. And of course, you can ask Spider Woman for help in co-creating a new web for yourself and embodying this version of you that you want to become, or the version of you that you think, that you're going to feel like. And we'll talk more about that as we practice, but that's a little manifestation 101 for you. Now we do have this 11:11 portal. I go back and forth on this. Do I believe in it? Do I not believe in it? I don't know. I think the more we collectively decide something is true, the more likely it is to be a real thing, because we all gave energy to it, and the more you give something energy, the more it's likely to be real, right? So fair enough. It's been said that the veil is thinner, and that makes manifestation just a little bit easier. Now, could be true for some, could not be true for others. I don't fully know. I know that in the past, I've tried to manifest certain things on the 11:11 portal. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. It didn't work out at all in some cases. And that's okay. But, I also didn't know what I know now. So we live and we learn. That's the beauty of life. I also took out my Spider Oracle deck from my medicine cards here. And because I thought I would pull some of the story of Spider and read a little bit as we move through our practice today. So all that aside, you are going to need a journal. Our practice today does not begin with any sort of meditation. It actually begins with journal prompts and a free write. So you will need your journal and or something to write on or with, or both. You're also going to need a block or a big book or a stack of books. Keep them handy, okay? Because it's a pretty strong possibility we're going to be using this. Sorry, my battery is getting low. I know sometimes I say, we're gonna need this thing or that thing, and we don't end up using it, and it just is what it is. Okay. I also always recommend having a blanket or two nearby, a couple of throw pillows, or any other kind of cushions, or things that might help with certain poses or postures. Keep them close by just in case Sometimes I use things, sometimes I don't. Sometimes you might find you need something and sometimes you might not. So it's best just to have them close. Otherwise, you can always pause the video and come back. Not a big deal. I think I've covered all of my bases. So that said, I'll see you on your mat. All right, so hopefully you have your journal or something to write on or with, I keep saying or with. I have my little grimoire here, and I've got my my journal prompts, and then feel free to also look in the description, as the journal prompts will be there as well, okay? So, first question: what threads am I choosing to weave into my reality now? That's the first question. What threads am I choosing to weave into my reality now? Okay. Question number 2. What old strands do I need to release within my current web? What old strands do I need to release within my current web? That's your current web of creation. And the last question: what is my why for my web of creation? What is my why for my web of creation? Now, this kind of goes back to the feeling. What is the feeling that I think this thing is going to bring me? Or these things, or this new reality? What is that feeling that I think I'm going to have once I am this person or this version of myself, or I have this thing, okay? So I'm gonna put a little visual on the screen. This is gonna play for 5 minutes. You're gonna get to just free write the answers, do what you do. And if you finish early, I did put timestamps as well, so you can go right to the practice and get started there. But I hope you do take your time with these questions and get a little bit of clarity for yourself, because it's much easier to manifest when you have a clear focus and, as they like to say in yoga, a drishti, a gaze point, something to fix point, right? Something to stare at and focus on, okay? When you're not like, wait, I want this thing or that thing or this thing or that thing, right? It's much easier for that, because the universe is responding to your vibration, okay? Everything's vibration. So you get into that vibration, and then there you go. All right, I'll shut up now. You get to writing, and I'll see you soon. welcome back. I hope you got some clarity from your writing and journal experience, and that you feel ready to kind of open up a little bit in the body and mind and connect a little bit with spider medicine and spider woman and yourself as well, your higher self. So let's go ahead and begin. I do recommend having a little bit of padding underneath the knees if you find that your knees are a bit more sensitive. So if you need to roll up the back of your mat for extra support, or you have a blanket like so laid across your mat, or maybe you need to get one, feel free to go grab that and meet me here. And we'll start just in tabletop real quick. Maybe not real quick, but it's probably not the best language for a yoga class. Slowly get into tabletop pose and release the tops of the feet. You can just kind of start tapping the toes. Perfect. We're going to spread the fingers wide. Palms connect, so all four corners of the palms connecting with the earth, all the pads of the fingers connecting as well. Navel's drawn in toward the spine, pelvic floor is lifted, and we're stabilized through the core. Take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, drive the pelvis forward, round out through the back, like a cat on Halloween. Inhale, drop the belly, collarbone spread, look up at the sky, find cow. Exhale, round out through your back. Inhale, find cow. And one more time, just rounding out through your back. Inhaling up one more time for your cow pose. Beautiful. Finding your stopping point. And from here, we're going to go ahead and tuck the toes. Now, you get to decide how intense you'd like this pose to be. One of the things I do want to recommend though is tucking the pinky toes, because sometimes the little pinky toe, just baby toe, doesn't quite make it onto the mat. So sometimes we have to kind of like help it along. But you're gonna kind of walk your hands back toward your knees, okay? So you have a little bit of support still on the hands, and you're noticing a little bit of weight maybe on the heels. And then maybe you decide you wanna walk the hands back further until you're sitting completely on your heels. If that feels like way too much, come back to this, okay? Again, I will say this until I am blue in the face. Yin is always get into the shape, find your sweet spot, and stay a while. Your sweet spot is never pain. It's never pulling. It's never a place of like, this is so uncomfortable, okay? It's a place of like, oh, that's got some feeling to it, you know? That feels interesting. But it's never like complete discomfort, okay? Maybe a little uncomfortable, but not unbearable, all right? Because we do stay a while. That's the whole point of Yin. That's what gets into the fascia and the connective tissue in the body. And, you know, with Yin being the fountain of youth practice, that's what's gonna help your body stay young, all right? So, beginning here in toe stand, and the Taoist perspective is open toes equals an open mind. Now, I like it because, you know, a lot of times we have our feet shoved into shoes. Toes are like wedged in there. So especially when it comes to dream weaving and manifesting, we do kind of have to keep an open mind, right? There's this beautiful, I'm gonna keep Spider Woman up here with me. I love our human brains because we always think manifesting, this is what I want and this is the way it's gonna go and this is the process that I see it being, right? And then we're told like, trust the process. Sometimes the process looks like chaos. and it goes the exact opposite of what we think it's gonna look like or supposed to be like, right? And sometimes we give up because we think, oh, well, that's not right, that's not meant for me. When in reality, maybe that is the process, right? So we do have to keep an open mind. We do have to remind ourselves that everything is always working out for me, because it always is. I tell myself that all the time, especially when I see something that, or start to go down that path of like, it's all going to, SHIT. Everything is always working out for me. So open minds are a beautiful, beautiful way to co-create, especially with spider women. So that's it. If you are not quite on your hands, go ahead and find your way back into tabletop. Release the toes, oh my God, and then do that little tapping motion. Wow, that was lovely. Beautiful. All right. So what I'm seeing, what Spider Woman is showing me next is swan or sleeping swan. You can move anything off to the side if you're, used a blanket or you folded up your mat, but we're gonna come back into this tabletop when you're ready. I suggest walking the hands out about a palm length in front. Extend out through the right leg, so bring the right leg out behind you, and then just bring the right knee behind the right wrist, and then the right foot behind the left wrist. Okay, you know this as pigeon in vinyasa style classes. Now, there are a couple of variations on this pose if swan or pigeon doesn't feel good to you. 90-90 is always an excellent posture to take, because you're still getting into that hip, and then you're also doing an internal rotation. This is your pose as well. You're doing an internal rotation on that hip, which you don't do very often. And then you don't have to come down onto your back. If you want to come down onto your back, you're more than welcome to, and do this figure 4. That's a variation as well for swan, okay? If you need a little assistance underneath the right hip, you can grab that throw pillow that I mentioned or blanket, prop it up underneath you, like so. The further away your right foot is from your left hip crease, the less intense it's going to feel. I'm sorry, the more intense it's going to feel. The closer it is toward the hip crease, the less intense, okay? I confused myself. Now, let's go ahead, make those spider fingers, and let's bring them out to the edges of the mat. From here, really kind of elongate up through the spine first. So pushing the fingertips like into the floor, broadening up through the chest. Maybe the head falls back a little bit, and then come down as you bend the elbow, so a 90-degree bend here, and then rounding up through the back. So the back of the heart leads as you round up. The head and the neck will come up last. Head falls back. Let's do that 2 more times. Comes down. Rounding up. 1 more time. Leading with the chest on the way down, and then leading with the back of the heart on the way up. Good. And then you're gonna find whatever version of this works for you today. So if you wanna come down all the way, you can stack the forearms on top of each other. You can make, you can stack the fists on top of one another. You can place your head on a block, on a pillow. We will be here for 3 minutes. So whatever it is for you, again, staying a while, finding that sweet spot. I'm gonna read a little bit about Spider's story. Little side note here, we're getting deep into our hips with this pose. And I just want to mention the hips, that's kind of like the center of creation. That's our cauldron, that's our womb space. I don't care what body you're in, male, female, doesn't matter. It's the center, it's the sacral chakra area. So this is the center of creativity. And when we can release tightness and stagnation in that energetic center, we basically allow ourselves to kind of open up to receive new ideas. We free ourselves to create more, to experience more, to weave new threads. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna just stay quiet for a little bit and I'll read with the next side. Okay, so I'm just gonna let us sit with that, marinate with that for just a few breaths. Good, let's take a deep breath in together and then exhale, just slowly bring yourself up if you're not already. And we'll tuck the toes on the left foot and send the right leg back to meet the left. Just pedal the heels here for a moment in down dog. Feeling as the blood rushes back down into the feet and the ankles. Oh, beautiful. And finding your way back down into that tabletop pose, maybe walking the hands out a little bit in front of you if you need to. Extend out through the left leg this time and just bring the left leg up into swan on the opposite side, settling in here to whatever variation of this you need. And again, we're gonna walk the fingertips out, spider fingers. Take a deep breath in as you expand through the heart first, looking up. Exhale, lead with the heart all the way down, chin, head fall, come down to the mat last, and then exhale, lead with the back of the heart as you come up. Head and neck come up last. Exhale. Inhale, come on up. And last time, exhale, come down. And inhale, come up once more. Beautiful. And you're gonna find whatever variation of swan works for you on this side. So spider's message or medicine is weaving. Spider wove the web that brought humans the first picture of the alphabet. The letters were part of the angles of her web. Deer asked Spider what she was weaving and why all the lines looked like symbols. Spider replied, "Why, dear, it is time for Earth's children to learn to make records of their progress of their Earth walk." Deer answered Spider, "But they already have pictures that show through symbols the stories of their experiences." "Yes," Spider said, "but Earth's children are growing more complex, and their future generations will need to know more. The ones to come won't remember how to read the petroglyphs. So it was that Spider wove the first primordial alphabet as she had woven the dream of the world that had become manifest. Spider's dream of the physical world had come to fruition millions of years before. Spider's body is made like the number 8, consisting of 2 lobe-like parts connected at the waist and 8 legs. Spider is the symbol for the infinite possibilities of creation. Her 8 legs represent the four winds of change and the 4 directions on the medicine wheel. Spider weaves the webs of fate for those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. This is similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world and never see beyond the horizon into the other dimensions. The web of fate also represents a wheel of life, which does not include any alternatives or solutions. It is typically human to get caught in the polarity of good or bad fortune without realizing that we can change it at any time. If we are not decisive enough about changing our lots in life, we may end up being consumed by our fears and limitations. So this is a beautiful reminder, this 1111 portal, right? And those threads, the ones that we need to release, a lot of times those threads that don't serve are the ones of limitation. Those things that hold us back, those ideas, those fears, those beliefs, that conditioning that says we can't, we're not enough, we're too much, we failed before, we're failures, whatever the case is for you, right? So we're gonna take a deep breath in together, and depending on where you are, we're gonna exhale gently, find your way up. Oh, that's so nice. And just lean to the left. We'll bring the right leg out in front, and let's just shake out the legs. You can do this little windshield wiper motion with them if you would like. Perfect. So, seeing in my mind's eye, Spider Woman is showing me the next thread, which is butterfly pose. So soles of the feet come together. I know I do this posture a lot. It's one of my go-tos all the time. Honestly, probably every practice. So I don't know, it's just my little giddy pose, but there's so many benefits to it aside from the low back release. This beautiful stretch along the inner thighs, just everything about it. I love it. It's a juicy, lovely pose. If you need support behind the knees, feel free to use blocks or blankets or pillows from your couch, whatever the case may be for you. I'm gonna bring the heels in closer toward me. You can keep them further away from you if you want. Let's take a deep breath in, and you decide if you want to come down with a rounded spine or elongated spine. They're both okay. And we'll exhale, find whatever version of butterfly is in your highest calling. We will be here for 3 minutes. Spider is the female energy of the creative force that weaves the beautiful designs of life. So real quick side note, as we are here in butterfly pose, this pose is also getting into the reproductive meridian lines in the body, which is of course, our center of creation and creative life. So I want to share that too. I think that's kind of perfect. Anyway, thank you Spider Woman. Her web has hundreds of intricate patterns which catch the morning dew. If Spider has dropped from her web into your cards today, she may be telling you to create, create, create. Look for new alternatives to your present impasse. She can also be warning you that you are coming too close to an entangling situation. Spider could be asking you to use a journal to write out and review your progress. If you do this, you will not forget how you are creating a new or different phase in your life. Spider brings a message of a different kind when she sees you becoming a bit too involved in the weaving of your life. Plans to notice opportunity at the outskirts of your web. And Spider Woman has the same kind of message. Like she like I said, she will come back, and when you call on her to help you, to know what threads to pull next. She does. She really does. That's why it is a co-creation, because oftentimes, a lot of times, we can get very caught up in our ways of how it should go, how it should be, that sometimes we can miss certain details. We can miss something, or we may not see the totality of like what's being presented to us, right? So we are creating all the time, but sometimes we get so caught up in the way that it should should look or should be. And it's so important that we listen to Spider and Spider's medicine and wisdom, and call on that, so that we can notice the opportunity on the outskirts of our webs. I hope that made sense. If this is the case, Spider gets your attention so that you notice something you have woven has borne fruit. And sometimes too, that's where like celebrating yourself as well. I don't know how often you're doing that. Are you celebrating the mini wins, right? When you win, when the wins don't look as big as you think they should look, are you celebrating those, the small wins too, you know? Because it's a win is a win, as they say. Yeah. Congratulations. Spider caught you just in time before you missed the opportunity on the edge of your web or reality. So let's take a deep breath in together, and we'll exhale, just gently come up. We'll bring the knees together like you're closing a book. Come onto your hands. Your windshield wiper motion here. Perfect. And I'm going to turn this way today. We're going to find our way down onto our backs. So however slow you want to get there is just fine. You might want to adjust your clothing if you need to once you're there. Perfect. Just bring the legs straight down onto your mat and walk your feet over to the left corner of your space. As you can see, I've crossed the ankles. You don't have to, okay? Your back is staying flat on the mat, but you're gonna just allow your torso to curve in towards your feet. So your spine is flat on your mat here, and we're just creating this C shape on the mat. We're creating what's called banana asana in Yin. So we will be in this pose for 2 minutes. Your arms can either come up in goalpost arms, or you can leave them down alongside your body. You choose what feels right for you. If the arms are up, you might notice a sensation from the right pinky all the way down through the side body, the intercostal muscles, to the top of the right hip. And to me, this is just like more heart opening, okay? And like this idea of like, if we are releasing certain webs of creation, it's like also releasing this, any sort of unforgiveness toward ourselves, toward others, for moments that we may have felt harmed, or we harmed ourselves, or, you know, any of those times in life. We've all experienced it at some point or another. The most important message from Spider is that you are an infinite being who will continue to weave the patterns of life and living throughout time. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, bring yourself back to center. You might decide here that you'd like to do that windshield wiper motion with your knees, or maybe even bring your knees into your chest and hug and squeeze your legs. Give yourself a hug. Oh, you've been through so much. You deserve your love and attention. You deserve a hug. Perfect. And we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, because we don't want you leaving practice today all off center and unbalanced. So the feet are going to walk to the right corner of the mat, and we'll just allow the torso to curve down toward our feet. And your arms are gonna do whatever feels good to you today. And while here, I just invite you to call in the feeling of having said reality, whatever it is that you are manifesting with this 1111 portal. The feeling of it, the feeling of already having it. What would it feel like if you were laying here today, right now, as that version of you already having it? What would you feel like right now? And just be in that feeling for the next 2 minutes. And if you don't know what that would feel like, that's okay. That's understandable. All you have to do then over the next 2 minutes, I want you to just robotically affirm, if it's something to do with money or whatever it is, I am wealthy, or I am in the most ideal relationship, or I can't believe how blessed I am. Whatever it is, just sit and repeat that over and over and over and over to yourself, okay? If you can't generate the feeling, just robotically affirm for the next 2 minutes. Good. And take a deep breath in with me. And exhale. Gently bring yourself back to center. Do whatever you need to do. So whether that's, this little windshield wiper motion, maybe you need to do a full-on twist or happy baby or anything. Maybe you need to pause the video and just do something cool and fancy, I don't know, and then come back. That's totally fine. But we're going to start setting up now for Shavasana. So the first thing I always recommend doing before Shavasana is just making sure your clothes are situated, because it's hard to fully relax when your shirt's bunched up, or like your pants are funky, like it's, or like your earrings are messing with you, or your hair is pulling in a weird direction, so check in with yourself and just give yourself an honest assessment, like, okay, what do I need to fix, like before I can fully relax. And if you need to cover up, with a blanket, go ahead. I invite you to let your legs come off the mat. You're not confined to your mat, okay? And same with the arms. Just keep the hands below the heart, but we still want to have a little space in your underarms so your underarms can breathe, okay? We'll tilt the chin down toward the chest and just bring softness into the face, into the tongue and jaw. Softness into the low back. Softness all down the spine. So every tiny little muscle that supports your back just melting into the mat one by one. We're just going to take a couple of deep breaths in together. So inhale through the nose, expanding the belly as you breathe in. Let's exhale through mouth. Again, deep breath in. Exhale. Last time, deep breath in. And exhale. Perfect. Going to visualize for just a moment. If you struggle to visualize, that's okay. We can just intend. You can focus on the color red. It's perfect for Spider Woman. I invite you to see yourself on the desert. Notice what you're wearing. Are you barefoot? Do you have sandals on? What's the weather like? Is it windy? Is it hot? Or is the temperature just right? Is it cooling off as the night falls? Notice the thin air that you breathe in. It's very dry, desert air. That surrounds you. Are there cactus, or is there a fire burning somewhere? Do you smell the smoke from the fire? Where you are, I invite you to see someone approaching you. She's dressed in a beautiful white gown. She has long black hair and it sort of whips around in the wind. And you're not threatened by her. She's very gentle but powerful energy. You're magnetically drawn to her. And she walks toward you and smiles. She says, "I've been waiting for you." She takes you by the hand. And she says, "Come with me." And as you two walk, she starts asking you questions. Mostly about your creation. What it is that you are creating, why you want to create it. And you feel compelled to tell her everything. notice that as you tell her everything, it's almost like she's locking it away, keeping it safe for you. And promising you that if you want her help, she can help you make it happen. She does ask for your trust, or her trust, your trust in her. Maybe she shares any additional messages with you that she might have. Maybe there's something else that she needs you to know. After she shares, you two recognize that it is time to start finding your way back to your campsite. And before you turn to leave, she hands you something. She puts something in the palm of your hand. And this is a symbol for you to remember her. And anytime you see that symbol, or maybe you're gonna go out and buy it so that you remember to call upon her for help in dream weaving, manifesting, and co-creation. You say thank you to her. Maybe you guys give each other a warm embrace. And before you know it, you're back in your space. Feeling your abdomen as you breathe in. Feeling your body supported by the mat beneath you. Wiggling your fingers and your toes, moving hands and feet, and a full body stretch. Before turning over onto either your left or your right side, yogi's choice, using the bottom arm as a pillow for your head, and just placing the top hand in front of your chest on the floor. Just picturing yourself here in the center of your own web, being held by her, who lovingly supports you and loves you and wants your creation just as much as you. On your next exhale, slowly push into the floor or the mat beneath you and peel the torso up off the mat. The head and the neck will be the very last things up. Bring the palms together in front of the chest in the Anjali Mudra. Spider Woman, I hope I did you justice. Thank you to you, Spider Woman, for the inspiration, for the channeling, for coming through today, this practice. Thank you to you, beautiful soul who practiced this with me today, who trusted me with your journey and your experience and your 1111 portal dream weaving yoga experience. And may the benefits of today's practice stay with you long after today is over. My soul honors your soul. I honor the place inside of you in which the entire universe resides. I honor the light, the shadow, the peace, the truth, and the beauty within you, because it is also within me. In sharing these things, we are connected. We are one. We are the same. Aloha and namaste.